Hi, good morning, Carlene.
Hi, morning.
Hi, my name is Anthony. Thanks for coming to the Grief and Bereavement Center and having a conversation with me this morning. How was your ride in today?
It wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad? It was good? Routine?
Yeah, there was some traffic, but it was okay.
Okay, I'm glad you made it here. I'm glad you came here to talk to me. I gotta ask, Blue Jays fan?
No.
Oh, well, I got hit by the bug. I think I made a mistake by falling for these guys. So thanks for coming in today. I just want to talk to you about the loss that you had recently. But before we get started, I have to talk to you about confidentiality and limits. Um, we're in a safe space here. Anything you say here will remain between me and you, save six instances. One being, if I find out that you're gonna hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, I have a duty to report that. If I find out that a minor is in danger or a senior is in danger, I have to report that as well. There's an instance where maybe the courts may want to see see the documentation of our interactions. I have, if it's subpoenaed, I'd have to disclose that to the courts. Also, if I find out that if you're being abused by a social worker or social service worker, I have to disclose that as well. And in the instance where the college that governs our profession wants to see my notes, I have to disclose it as well. So, in light of all hearing these things, do you want to pursue this conversation today?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Carlene, it takes a lot of strength to come in here today. I could understand that you had a devastating loss, and I want to let you know that you're human, and this is something that affects us all tremendously, and at various stages and various levels, and it ebbs and it flows. I'm sure there's going to be some moments where you're coping, and there's other times where you just feel paralyzed by this pain. Can you tell me a little bit more about? Can you tell me how you're feeling right now at this point with the loss of your daughter?
I'm really sad.
Tremendous sadness, great sadness.
Yeah,
I understand
very
that.
solemn. It was something that happened very sudden. My daughter had an undiagnosed heart condition. She just recently had her second year birthday. Um, and there was nothing that we could do to prevent this. She's my only child, and she's been my motivation, um, and the reason why I would get up every morning and do what I had to do. And it's unexplainable how I'm feeling now
Yeah.
that she's gone.
So can I? So what I'm saying, what I'm hearing, is my gathering was correct. You feel like a loss of purpose after the loss of your daughter. It's hard to move on.
I just feel like I've lost a great piece of me.
Oh well, yes. So, um, sometimes when we take a loss like this, we it builds something in us. It's like I at this point it might seem blank. It's like completely like irrelevant, but like this is actually a place where you could possibly grow from. This is a place that you can find healing from. Like this is a place. This is a chance for like a fresh start. As bad as it may seem, and it doesn't it doesn't feel like that on some days. Some days I know it's hard to move on, but like I know that we're gonna work on the resilience that you have. Do you have anybody in your life right now that you can lean on? That any supports that you can think about outside of your life, outside of yourself personally, your own resilience? Like, have anybody you can lean on?
Well, my husband and I are both experiencing our grief very differently. He's been attending um, bereavement support groups, and he's now actually training to be a bereavement counselor. And it's caused a lot of tension in our relationship because I don't understand how he's able to cope with this so quickly. My daughter just passed away 3 months ago, um, and it's caused a lot of friction between us because it just seems like it's not affecting him as much as it's affecting me, and it's also affected our intimacy, and it's made it very difficult for us to communicate. So I wouldn't exactly say that he's my support system right now. Um, but I guess we're just experiencing things differently.
That's totally valid. That's exactly like how things will happen. Like everybody has a different process of processing the loss and the grief, and there's five stages of grief, from acceptance to anger to denial. And it doesn't flow in a linear pattern. It doesn't go from one to the other. It goes from one to the other at random times. Like I said, the pain ebbs and flows. So it's totally normal for you and your husband to be at different ends of the spectrum at different times when it comes to that, when it comes to the healing process. what I want to ask you further about is like, how's your behavior been lately? Like, like how what have you been doing in this time that since your daughter's passed away? It's only been 3 months.
It's been really difficult for me to do much of anything. I feel very paralyzed. It's a great challenge for me to, do any type of cooking or going to do the shopping. Um, and like I mentioned, it's affected, my intimacy that with my husband. Um, I spend most of my days just thinking about my daughter, and it's consumed most of my time. Um, so my days are really just spent on the couch, or there's a lot of days when I can't get out of bed.
So when I hear you say that you can't get out of bed and you feel paralyzed, it's it's like you're like stuck in a sense, but like I'm not. I just want to make sure that when you're talking to me like this, like you don't have any thoughts of like hurting. Do you have any thoughts of hurting yourself or hurting anybody else?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's good. Um, like so, a part of the process of like of healing and recovering, I don't know. It's never gonna go away. The pain is always gonna be there in your life, but like I want us to start working on maybe some ways where we can have activities that memorialize that, some rituals that bring fondness back to your heart when you remember your daughter. I want to ask you about times when you are doing well, like when you are functioning, when you are be able to do day-to-day tasks, like that you're paralyzed in the couch and you just lay there in bed and you don't want to move, and that's totally understandable. The pain is so intense at times, but when there are times when you can function and do stuff, what's the difference in those times from the times when you're paralyzed?
The difference when I can't do anything?
Yeah, like from when you can do stuff and when you can't do
Okay.
stuff, like what do you find, what's the difference at that time?
Um, Maybe I need to do things out of necessity. So if I just do things that I have to do without giving it much thought, but I don't have any enjoyment in anything that I'm doing right now, um, because I would spend most of my days doing everything with my daughter. So now I just don't have any happiness. I used to enjoy cooking a lot,
Yeah.
and now I'm not cooking at all.
Yes.
Um, my husband is always trying to get me to at least eat something.
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself to go in the kitchen. I don't have the motivation to do it.
You find that you're robotic in nature at this point. You're just
Yeah, very
getting.
much so.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Um, well, I want to explore looking at things in another way going forward. It's like maybe, you know, the things that you find robotic, maybe you have to start slowly incorporating other things in your routine to get back to a level where you're functioning. But you said that used to do a lot of things with your daughter, and I understand that your husband has another child outside of you guys' relationship. How's your relationship with this child?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Would you explore? Sometimes we feel like we're having experiences outside of with a child, like the other child, like the son, and it's only exclusive to your daughter. But I wonder if you'd be open to doing some activities with your stepson instead of that you used to do with your daughter, or you just want to leave those for your daughter alone.
Yeah, my stepson does come over to the house quite frequently. But I would be open to trying something like that.
Okay. Well, Carlene, our time is coming closer to an end, and I just want to finish off our session with first of all, thanking you for coming in. It takes great strength to come in here and have this conversation and to understand that where you are with your grief, and that I believe we're here for this conversation because you want to find a path forward. Um, are you open to coming and seeing me again the next week at the same time?
I would like that.
Okay, thank you. I'd love to see you again. We'll definitely get the particulars and I'll have an email sent to you about the time and date particularly. But to sum up what we talked about, you talked about your relationship with your husband and how that dynamic has changed and what we can do possibly to put a positive spin, like memorialize your daughter moving forward. So when you do think of her as fond memories instead of the paralyzing grief that you feel at this point. And I just want to remind you that grief is it's a valid experience and every human being goes through it, and it's I don't want to dumb it down by saying it's unique to you only, or it's a human experience. And in time, I know that in time there's going to be a time when it's going to subside to some degree. right? I just want to say thank you again for coming in, and I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.